and welcome to the Horsepower Shop. If you've been with us over the years, you know how I like my grocery getters. In fact, I like them almost as much as what they haul. But you might also remember my 65 two-door wagon that we built the chassis up for a while back. Well, the body is in the body shop right now having that work done. And of course, once we've got it all finished up, we're going to bring it all back here in the shop and put it together. But in the meantime, hey, I want you to meet grocery getter number 3.
Hey man, I may be a Ford guy, but even I know your buddy the General never made an SS wagon like this.
Right you are, Blue Oval Breath.
But I gotta admit, you got the silver 72 looking mighty good. Nice paint and everything, but you can talk the talk, but can you walk the walk? I saw that cloud of blue smoke follow you here, man. That stock 307's ready to retire.
Man, nothing's getting past you today, is it, Elmore? Now, anybody that's doing an engine swap has a lot of different choices they can make. For instance, we could have gone ahead and pulled out that 307 there and rebuilt it, but you know what? Even after we were done, it'd still be a weak dog. Then we could have found a 350 and built it, but you know what? That's a lot of machine work, finding the correct combination of parts, and hoping it all fits once we get it all together.
Of course, the final choice is a crate engine, and well, that's what we've opted for. Edelbrock has this new crate engine program, and well, they start with a brand new ZZ4 short block from GM Performance. Then they add their own cam, heads, and induction, and they offer them with horsepower ratings from 310 to 430. We opted for this 410 horsepower version that makes 408 foot-pounds of torque with a 9.5:1 compression ratio. Now, it'll run on pump gas and give that Chevelle plenty of power to make a grocery run and get back in time for the show.
And now that 350 is also a small block, which means it'll drop right in on the stock mounts and bolt up to the original bell housing. But first, we need to get rid of that old 307, and we're going to get started by first disconnecting the battery and draining the radiator. Oh, and we also need to get rid of the hood. Then we can disconnect the heater hoses and air conditioning lines, then remove the air conditioning compressor itself. Next, remove the exhaust manifold bolts and disconnect the wiring, vacuum lines, and fuel lines.
Hey, here's a little advice for you. If this is your first engine swap, make sure you tag all those lines so you know where they go when the new engine's installed. In fact, it's a good idea even if you have done this before. Now next, we're going to get under the car to remove the drive shaft and transmission.
Good job, Joe. Now, while he was back there fighting with the transmission, I went ahead and disconnected the clutch linkage. And, well, now all we have left to do is remove this here bolt up here. Then we can go ahead and get back up on top, throw the chain to it, and lift this engine out. Hey, we're looking good here. Got all the wires, got plenty of firewall clearance, Joe.
Well, it wasn't too bad.
Yeah, keep cranking.
Okay, a little more. Here we go. We still have a few things to do to this new engine before we can drop it in. Oh, by the way, we popped for the fully polished heads, water pump, and intake. The intake, by the way, is a Performer RPM air gap mounting an 800 CFM Edelbrock carb. Oh, I want you to check this out. On the 410 horse version, they use a set of their roller rockers and ARP head bolts for added reliability.
Now, those are some nice parts. And speaking of reliability, they also use one of these MSD Pro billet distributors to light this monster up. Then they went ahead and bolted up a Milodon high-volume oil pump and one of their oil pans and timing covers. Right now, though, we need to bolt up some more parts of our own. I went ahead and ordered a set of these chrome pulleys, brackets, and thermostat housing from Transdapt. After all, who wants to bolt their old cruddy hardware on a pretty engine like that?
Yeah, that's great right there. We're replacing the stock 3-speed transmission for a Richmond 5-speed, so we got to have a clutch that can handle 410 horsepower. So next, we're going to bolt up this center force flywheel and clutch assembly. The old wagon over there weighs 3,800 pounds even without chuck, so it's got to have a heavy flywheel to get it going. This is a 38-pound steel piece that works with their dual friction clutch disc and pressure plate. Now you see these weights here. They use centrifugal force to increase the clamping pressure as the RPMs go up.
Hey, that's a great idea to improve clutch performance in any car. Now, you know we're going to go ahead and bolt up the flywheel first, and here's a little tip for you. Use some brake cleaner to get rid of this protective coating that they put on here to prevent corrosion. Now, if you don't do that, you could damage the clutch disc, maybe cause some chattering or slipping. Then once we get that bolted up, we're going to use this alignment tool that I got from Transdap to hold the clutch disc in place while we bolt up that pressure plate. With the flywheel bolted up, we can go ahead and install this bushing right here on the end of this tool, and it's got to match up with the one here in the end of the crankshaft. Now, we can go ahead and slide the cone right here into the clutch disc, and that'll line everything up. Well, now we can go ahead and torque those pressure plate bolts down to 45 foot-pounds.
We'll cover everything up with this stock bell housing. Then we're ready to drop in this new motor.